So today we're going to go and talk about solubility. Now, this is a topic that a student requested I write about, so here we are. Um, let's go and get started. Sorry, there was something on my screen. My bad. Um, so solubility is all about whether or not a molecule will dissolve in a solution of another compound. Or mixture. In this case, we're going to talk compounds here. So basically, the type of question I could ask you is something like, can NH3, this molecule, can it dissolve in water? A big beaker of water. Will it dissolve? And basically, you're supposed to say yes or no, and then, why. So the idea behind solubility, what we're looking for, one big word: polarity. Polarity. That's it. Basically, you know that water is a polar molecule. That's known through what, biology, chemistry. Every student learns this. You learned it in high school. If you do not remember learning it, maybe you should pay attention a little bit more. But yeah, polarity is all that's important about this topic. There's nothing really else around it. So let's go ahead and just talk about a couple molecules and then how to determine whether or not, they're polar or will they dissolve, etc., etc. So let's, first off start with water. H2O. Or, yeah, H2O. Oops, H2O. That's better. Um, so basically the idea here is this a polar molecule, which yes, you know that. And if you didn't know that, oddly enough, then yes, you could, look at the geometry, which this has a tetrahedral electron geometry, but it has molecular geometry of a um, of a of a bent molecule. So yes, this is polar. It has a dipole. The dipole is going this direction. That's weird. Um, so these are partially negative. This is partially negative. These are partially positive. If you don't know what polarity is, there is a YouTube video that talks about polarity. That's partially positive. Um, I do have a video on polarity. Go and look at that. It's video number 5. If you don't get what polarity is, I have a cool simulation there that talks about polarity. Hooray. So, okay, yeah. So basically, what's going on now is we want to say, polarity, does it dissolve in, or okay, does this polar molecule dissolve with this molecule? So you have to be careful on when we ask you, does this molecule dissolve in this beaker of solution? Because that solution, you have to also determine whether or not it's polar. So will water dissolve in water? Yeah, it mixes very well because it's the exact same thing. However, let me give you something like a lipid, right? If I just give you, or not even a lipid, just a hydrocarbon, right? Something like CH4. Will CH4 dissolve in water? Oh no, it won't. This is called methane. You might have heard of this in methane gas. This is just methane. So hydrocarbons are not polar. We have proven that time and time again, and we've told you this time and time again. If you don't remember this by now, you should pay attention more in class. Believe me, put your phone away. Put your phones away. Um, and if you have Facebook open on another monitor or another on the side of this video, close that too. Pay attention. Thanks. So basically, I'm asking, if this dissolves in water, and the answer is no, it doesn't, because this is a nonpolar molecule, and water is polar. Nonpolars do not dissolve in polars. I'm sure you've heard the term, and we talked about this in class. Like dissolves like. Important. Like dissolves like simply means a polar molecule will dissolve in a polar solution. A nonpolar molecule will dissolve in nonpolar solution. So if I asked you, how do I make, or what can I put this in? What can I put methane in that will make this dissolve? You could tell me any nonpolar solution. If I asked you, does this solution Is it soluble in a big beaker of benzene? The answer is yes. If you remember what benzene looks like, it's that big hexagon with the double bonds. The double bonds don't really mean anything. That's simply just saying, great, there's double bonds there. But in terms of non-polarity, this is still non-polar. So this would dissolve. Hooray, it would. That's a weird eye, but yeah, this would dissolve. That's basically it. There's nothing. There's not really any huge difficulty to this. I don't expect this to be a really difficult topic. I expect other stuff to be a little harder, like melting point, boiling point, etc., etc. But this is it's really cut and dry. Nonpolar dissolves in nonpolar. I'll even write it. Nonpolar goes into nonpolar. Polar goes into polar. Nonpolar does not go into polar, and polars do not dissolve in nonpolar. That's literally it. So basically, if we give you a molecule, you have to determine its polarity, which is why I said if you don't know what that is, look at video number 5 that says polarity. Watch that video. It's like 14 minutes, 13 minutes and 59 seconds. I'm looking at it now. Basically, if you don't know what polarity is, get on that because your exam is tomorrow. So yeah. We will give you some kind of molecule, or we'll say what kind of molecule dissolves in this solution. Do not expect it to be water. That's easy. If I were making the exam, which I'm not, sadly, I would ask, does this dissolve in this molecule? I'm not going to ask you, does it dissolve in water? I mean, that's a very good possibility that Dr. Van Dorn will ask you that, but expect the hardest problems ever, which the hardest problem I could give you is simply something like, I don't know, a lipid. If I give you a lipid that looks like this, OH with an O there, I could ask you, will this dissolve in, say, benzene? Yeah. Oops, nope, that's wrong. That's better. And you have to answer yes or no. Basically, that's it. Nothing really else to it. Yeah, that's solubility. There's not really anything else that's super complicated with this. We're not looking at temperatures, we're not looking at pressures or anything. We're simply looking at polarity. If you know what polarity is, you know what solubility is. And I just told you, if you forgot, like dissolves like. Non-polar dissolves in non-polar, polar dissolves in polar. That's really it. If you have any questions, go and put them in the comments below. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Thumbs down if you hate me. Whatever. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this has helped you. Please study hard. This exam is a tricky one if you don't study. So, well, all exams are tricky if you don't study. So go and study hard, and we'll see you tomorrow for the exam. If you have any video requests, go and put them in. I know the student who requested this. It did take a while because Sunday was my birthday, so I did absolutely nothing then. However, when you request a video, just give me like a full day. It doesn't take too long to make a video. However, we as students have lives as well. We have other classes to deal with, so you are a priority. However, our grades also matter. So just go and be patient with me. Believe me, if you put a request up, I'm happy to make a video. I don't mind. Again, requests can be made through my email, on a YouTube, comment, on Facebook. Go and like the Facebook account, subscribe to YouTube. Hooray, whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.